How you doing? Alright, let's see if I can say some stuff real quick. James Corbett did a video about the Russian meddling, what people aren't saying about the Russian interference, whatever, something like that. And the interesting part of that was that, you know, they supposedly spent $1.8 million on tampering with our election, presidential election, I guess. But he went over like how ridiculous the interference was. Like they would buy ads or time or produce memes on the internet that were just completely stupid, and nobody would ever take them seriously. So I said in a comment is, well, obviously what they did, you know, if nobody's going to take this stuff seriously, you know, it's not going to sway anybody's opinion. What they were only doing was leaving a trail of interference so that we would have something to point to, you know, as if there was some tampering. So they only did just enough to make it look like they were trying to influence the election. They had left a little breadcrumbs, and they said, there you go. Well, yeah, we're just trying to fuck with you. Just to make it a theme of, you know, the ongoing 4 years or so that we got coming up of the Russian tampering. They're making that an idea. They had to leave enough evidence, and that was it. They didn't have to spend $2 billion. They didn't have to put out real ads, do any real influencing. They just did enough to put it out there as something to point at, and that's it. Now, why would they do that? Why would they make a token effort if it were real? You know, if they were really trying to influence the election, they wouldn't make a token effort. They would do a good job, but they did a shit job. They only did just enough to be noticed. Now, who would do just enough to be noticed, but not enough to influence the election? You know who that would be? People who are in the club. People who are making up this idea. They're playing along with the idea. So I'm still saying that Putin and Russia are in the club. It's a global club, and they have to play up this back and forth between different countries as if it's real. But it's not real. If it was real, and they wanted to influence the election, they would have done more. And Michael Rivero, I don't know if this is true, I'm just going to say that he said this, said that most of the money spent, the $1.8 million spent on the interference, came after the election, came after the vote. Now, he said that. I don't know if that's true. But if that is true, that's just more on my side. Who spends money to influence an election that's over? Maybe people who just want to leave a mark. Maybe people who just want to leave the little breadcrumbs so that the FBI can say, see, you know, and they're all playing along. That's my opinion. That the FBI and, you know, our government, their government are all playing along to make it look like there's some back and forth when there is none. And especially since Putin said, now this is one thing I believe is 100% true that Putin said. Putin said, we have no interest in messing with your elections. You know why? Because no matter who you vote in, we always end up getting the same thing. He said that. I say that. He said that. So why would he waste any money at all? Why would he waste a dime trying to influence the election? He wouldn't, unless he was playing along with this Russian interference scenario. Okay? So that right there should take the legs right out from under all of these scandals. If the starting link in the chain of scandal after scandal after scandal is disposed with, then everything that comes after it is obviously bullshit. All these investigations, they should just pop into your head that, okay, well, the first thing was crap. Why would any of this be true? Okay, so I'm not here to suck Russia's dick or anything. It's just that, yeah, they didn't do it. They weren't really trying to influence the election. They probably didn't hack anything. They wouldn't need to. I mean, because if this is one big club, like I said, then the DNC would just leak whatever they want to WikiLeaks, and then it would get out there. And then we'd have this big, I don't know, rigmarole of back and forth between the Republicans and the Democrats, and that's what we got. And that's all they want. They want the back and forth that draws you and me in if we're into the left-right paradigm. That's all they want, is keep you sucked in. You got to get sucked out. Get out of there. Okay, and another one is that porn star, what's her name? Oh, no, I can't remember. Anyways, the porn star who had an affair supposedly with Donald Trump is now coming forward and trying to get the gag order that she agreed to undone. But once again, it's after the election. What's the point? You know, so let's pretend that this happened. I don't know that she had an affair with him. I don't give a crap. What if he had an affair with her? Who cares? Nobody cares. I mean, Democrats care. They go, oh, see, you're dirty, or whatever. But it's a pointless scandal. Unless he raped her, and if he did, I can't imagine why she would agree to, being bought off. Why would she do that? So I see this it's very likely also was just a lot of hot air. I mean, if he had sex with a porn star, that just makes him look good. To a lot of people. Having an affair is a bad idea, but so I don't see that going anywhere. I don't see any of this shit going anywhere. It's complete garbage. It's interesting, but, that's really what it's all about, trying to keep our interest. Trying to maintain our interest in the system. So that next time we vote, we feel like it's going to go somewhere. Another thing about after the election is the wiretapping. Now, supposedly, let's say Hillary wanted Obama to wiretap the Trump campaign. Okay, that kind of makes sense, right? If she wants to win. But did she ever use anything from the Trump campaign against him? No. I think the only thing that came out was that Pussygate affair, where he grabbed someone, said he could grab someone's pussy or whatever. I mean, that's nothing. Not for Donald Trump. So I don't think they used anything against him from all that. So that didn't work. And then, for some reason, they continued to wiretap him after the election was over? To what end? No end. Even if he did do something wrong, like collude with the Russians or whatever, all that would happen is the presidency goes to Pence. So the Democrats don't get shit. What's the fucking point? Oh, they just hate Trump because he's going to do great things. Well, I don't see it. I don't see great things. So all of that is pointless. The wiretapping is pointless. Unless what you want to do is show America that there were things going on behind the scenes. At least half America, like you want to show Republicans that the Democrats were trying to get him out. Even if he got elected, they were trying to get him out. So it's just, like I said, it's, again, keeping us drawn in. It doesn't, none of this, I mean, sure, maybe they went to the FISA court with a bogus dossier. Okay. Well, they're all in the club, and they just showed up and said, here's the bogus dossier, and it's proof X. And then they go off and they supposedly tap the Trump campaign, and they make sure we all hear about it. And that's what's going on. That's it. When all of this comes to nothing, I want people to remember that. Okay? The penny's going to drop at some point. Then you got Anthony Weiner. Why would Hillary's emails be on Anthony Weiner's laptop? What purpose would he need? He wouldn't need her emails on his laptop. And wouldn't that take up so much RAM or whatever? I mean, it just seems ridiculous. I mean, he's got sexting to do. He doesn't need all that, clutter on his computer. So I'm speculating here, but I would guess that they use him as a way to get the emails, introduce the emails to us. Because how we know about those emails on his laptop is that he was under investigation for sexting and whatnot. So I'm speculating that he's a lifelong actor and he took the fall. Maybe he's not a sexter. Maybe he is. Maybe he just dabbled. I don't know. But I think they said, hey, here's what we need. We need you to pretend to be some pervert online so that we can investigate you. And then we'll say that the emails ended up on your laptop so that we can get them out there to the public so that they'll know about them. Somehow they got to get out there. And I think that's the route they took. So how much of his escapades are true, I don't know. But in any case, I believe that it's very likely that they used him to introduce the emails to us. Hillary's unsecure emails. Hold on a minute. So just to repeat myself, this is, all a big show, and Seth Rich probably not dead. Who gives a fuck? If what they leaked never gets investigated, Hillary never goes to prison, I mean, it's just all a distraction at this point. If nothing ever happens, right? If nothing ever gets cleaned up, the swamp never gets drained. It's all the same thing. It's just titillating, and that's what it's all about. So Trump's not my friend. I would love to have a billionaire friend, but not him probably. Get the big old hair swoop and all. Kind of weird. And then they got the tariff thing is causing a stir. He's going to put a tariff of 25% on steel from everybody but Canada and China, I guess. I mean Canada and Mexico, and 10% on aluminum. And Peter Schiff did a video about that, and he said, tariffs work if you go across the board. You can't just pick, do these two things, and because if you do steel, what happens in America is, this is what Peter says anyway, American steel companies just jack up their price to come close to the tariff. come close to the price that China's steel got jacked up to, and they get a windfall. It's free money. They won't, he doesn't believe, won't bother investing in doubling their steel production. They'll just reap the windfall, and that's it. But in the meantime, steel prices go up for the manufacturers here in the United States, especially, like I said, if American steel manufacturers jack up their prices to get the freebie, then people like Whirlpool, who make stuff out of steel, are going to suffer because, shit, we could just import washing machines that are already made from Chinese steel, and they won't have an added tax to them, but the ones here will. So people who manufacture stuff with steel and aluminum here in the U.S. are going to lose out. So it's a bad call. It's just straight up bad call. If you went across the board with everything that comes in, then it would be okay. It'd be like a national sales tax, except on things that are produced here, and that would be kind of good. Because people might prefer then, because American goods are cheaper, because of the tariff, they might start buying American goods, and that means they might start making American goods. But the way he's done it is people are going to stop buying American goods and start buying foreign goods, even though they're, the ones we make here are really good. It's just now they're more expensive because of the stupid tariff. So he's actually making things worse for the American worker. Good job, guy. Unbelievable. So he's, if this goes through, because he might just change his mind or whatever, but if this happens, that might be the tipping point, and we just spiral out of control right into oblivion, which would be, be a bummer, but it's got to happen at some point because we're pumping out fake money, and the world ain't going to put up with it. They're not going to put up with it much longer anyway. Okay, I think that's good for the political bullshit side, the fantasy politics side. The other thing, I guess this includes politics too, would be the gun debate. I had the Parkland shooting, quotes. It's another one that I don't buy into. The kids said that there were rumors all week that there was going to be a drill, and you have this guy whose father is an FBI agent and his mother works for CNN, and he's supposedly a witness and went to that school. But everything I hear, and I don't know if it's true, but everything I hear is that he graduated from California years ago, like 2015 or something. And so he shows up in this school, so the only way you can figure that out is like ask real students, there must be some real students in the damn school, and say, hey, is this guy actually a student? I don't know. But he certainly is an actor and an activist, like he says. I'm not an actor, I'm an activist, but I'm trying to be an activist, he says. But it's another one of them shootings where the students say, hey, there was two guys dressed in black, like SWAT teams coming through, and they were shooting up the place. Well, at this point, I don't know what to believe. And I don't know how anyone would know what to believe. Even if you're a regular person. It's a matter of listening to everything. You just take all of the interviews and put them together. Do they all add up? No. Okay, now there's a problem. What the problem is, I don't know. Like what's, how do you unravel it? I don't know. But something's wrong. And when something's wrong, plus they're using it to, push the gun agenda, the no gun agenda, the gun control agenda, then you have to say, okay, I'm not dealing with this. This is obviously some sort of bullshit, but I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if anybody shot up the school. You know, you could have two guys dressed in black shooting blanks all over the place. You know, you could even have one guy with real bullets, and you could just shoot a wall here or there, you know, and the other guy's spraying, you know, blanks. So I don't know. I don't know what these kids saw. You have to imagine that if they were going to make a drill look real to the kids, who are real kids, if there are real kids there, imagine there's some, there would have to be some sort of popping sound somewhere going on. Whether there was a human doing it, I don't know. But I would imagine that this Cruz kid was, he's just an actor, and he's going to play the role of the patsy. He's not a patsy. Unless he somehow got mind control. I don't really buy into all that mind control stuff. I'm sure that happens, but it doesn't have to be every time. Right? Oh, yeah, he was... they called him up and said wallflower, and that made him turn into a zombie or something. I don't know. But the fact that he took an Uber there to a school that he doesn't go to, and it happened to be the day of a shooting drill, that tells me that he's in on it. That would be my guess. He's in on it, and he's playing the role of the patsy. And of course, Mike Rivera was out there saying, well, he was on the prescription drugs, and that's, you know, everything comes down to prescription drugs with him. You know, I don't know if this kid was on anything at all. You don't know. Mike doesn't know. Even if the government says so, you still don't know, because you shouldn't trust the government. You can't trust anything they say, and yet for some reason he does. So I'm guessing that Parkland is crap. Just like the Pulse nightclub shooting, and I think San Bernardino was crap, and you know, many others. Obviously Sandy Hook. And Sandy Hook, they took down a video of mine that was explaining how the video on the day of the shooting happened on the same day as the photos that were taken during the day of the shooting. Because you had the photos of the kids in a line, you know, coming out of the school, crossing the parking lot. So I was just saying that the photos were taken on the same day as the in-car, you know, police camera footage. You know, that's pretty damning, huh? I must have been harassing somebody by saying that, I guess. Honestly, I think it was just because I used the photos. You know, there were images of these kids in the video, which I took off of Google. But if you say anything about those kids with the images in your video, boom, you're done. So that's all that is. And and so with this new shooting, I've noticed that even if you search, you know, shooting hoax, you know, and Parkland shooting hoax, whatever, you will not get hoax videos. Google/YouTube has changed it around, so no matter what you search for, you're just going to get like CBS videos. It's going to be mainstream crap. And it's hard now. They're making it really hard, not only because they're taking down videos, but even if you search for a hoax video, it's very hard to find one. They just insert mainstream videos in their place. So this is getting serious. And they're not only taking down videos, but taking down channels. And I could easily get more strikes because I still have hoax videos up. You know? I have those Trans-Asia hoax videos. Lots of images. That I could be down anytime. And if I go down, I probably won't make another YouTube channel. But I might. I don't know. Because I do other stuff like prepping. Like, you know, make little wood gasifier stoves and stuff like that. I like. That's innocuous, you know. That's helpful. I like to help people or experiment and figure something out that's helpful. I can put that up on YouTube. But you know, I guess conspiracy stuff has to go to another venue, and you know, there's DTube and other things. But until I get whacked out of here, I'm just gonna not put images up. Yeah, so there's a big crackdown coming, and so they're really making it hard for the mainstream listener to be exposed to these ideas. Like, it's interesting though, if you went to these like CBS videos, the mainstream videos about the Parkland shooting, people would comment, like, I went there very quickly. People were, the thumbs up comments, they were all like, this is a hoax, dude, and all that shit. You know, at first. But then you go back, and then he changed it all around, so now all the, you know, the most popular comments are, these people are crazy who are saying this stuff. But you got to scan down a mile before you find someone who said this is a hoax. So the comments that were there saying this is a hoax are gone. They're gone. They just take them out. And some less troubling comments still remain, but they're way, way down. And now the popular comments have been substituted with, you know, trolls, I guess, mainstream people saying, you're a bunch of jerks calling these kids liars and actors. So it's really getting tricky now. It's interesting. They're going to make it hard for us to win. I guarantee you they're going to make it hard. And, you know, even though we have this fabulous tool, the internet, see how easily it can be denuded. And then you got to go to another site that mainstream people don't go to. Like, everybody's on Facebook. You can't say shit on Facebook. You can't learn anything on Facebook. And eventually you won't be able to learn shit on YouTube. You'll have to go somewhere else. But guess what? These people don't want to learn. If you don't want to learn, you'll never get exposed to anything that's helpful. And that's all it takes. Just push everybody off to another venue and let them chitter-chatter over there, and the main group remains blissfully unexposed. So there's that. So are they going to take our guns? I imagine eventually. But they might just play it out for years and years and years because they like selling guns. They like the fact that they jerk us around and we run out and buy guns because they're making the money. And I know it's not about making money because they can just print money. But it's about getting your money away from you. So if you buy 20 guns, how many guns can you use? You can use 1 or 2 at a time, and that's it. So you've just wasted your money. Unless you're trying to arm your family and your neighbors all at the same time, which that's fine with me. I'm not going to, please do. I don't want to say you should, but I'm happy that you're doing it. But you're giving away some wealth because of these scares. Your wealth. You're turning your wealth into guns that may not be useful to you down the road. They may never come for these guns, and you just spent lots of money on them, or they may come for them through the mentally deranged loophole that they might be coming at us with, like, if you're a conspiracy theorist, obviously you should not have guns. If you buy lots of guns, obviously you're a conspiracy theorist. Catch-22. We have to take your guns. And then how do they do that? Now, that's a good question. It's possible that they do it by shutting down your bank account and starving you out. I mean, eventually it's going to be that simple. If they want to go down that road, and I don't know that they do. They probably are going to put a chip in guns so that they can track the guns, and then you'll get to have your guns. Maybe not the ones you bought now, but you'll have to buy new ones. It'll have a chip in it, and we'll follow you all around, and if we see you get near a school, we shut it off, and then we maybe fine you or whatever. So I don't know where it's going to go from here. It's not going to be straight up coming to get your guns. It's going to be dangerous. I don't think they're going to do that. They like playing the long game, and we expect the short game. But eventually the short game never comes, and we die, and our kids inherit the long game. Yeah. So it's something like that. All this has been going on for thousands of years. And it's going to go on probably for more, because people ain't seeing what's happening. They're not seeing the club. They're not seeing the fake left-right paradigm. Even Alex Jones has abandoned that, and now he's in love with Trump. And Trump's going to ally himself with the CIA and get the bad guys out and bullshit like that. It's just the continuing bullshit paradigm is just continuing on. We're in Syria, but we're not at world war. Why? We're firing on Russians, but there's no world war. What the? Just none of it makes any sense unless you understand that we're all in the same club. All the countries are on the same club, and they're just stringing us along until we die, and then they string our kids along until they die. And all the while, you and our kids are changing, and their grandkids, we're all changing. Our behavior, our thoughts, our, morals, etc. The way we see things changes over time until we change into what they want. Whatever that is, dumbasses, and we're damn near there. All right, good day.